So far everything is working and we have created the form, and if you write for example saving and you put some numbers and submit it, it submits for us the form. But of course, as you can see, we don't want to put all of this in the same component. This should be on its own component similar to the accounts table. So to do that, we first need to study this component, what it needs and what it should have in its own. So for example, if we check the handle change, this thing could move to that component, and also this state could move to that component. So we will move this account, set account. We also will move this handle change, okay? And then the handle add account needs a little bit of modification then, because we are moving this guy. Then this guy will not have access now, the handle add account will not have access to the account. So we have to have a way to pass to it through as a parameter to the parent. So let's do this. First of all, what you do is right click new JavaScript file, and let's create account form. I'm naming it account form purposely because I want to use it both for the add and edit. So I will do that. I'll create the component. I'll call it account form, and now I expect the account form to receive the methods that it needs from the parent. So before doing that, first let's go ahead and cut from the h3 up till the here. So we will leave the account table, and I'll save this and go back to account form and then paste it here. So the form is here, but now this form will not work because it doesn't know something called handle change. So I'll go back here and bring the handle change. I'll cut this is not handle change, this is the handle change. So I will cut the handle change and then go to the account form. I'll paste it up there. But now you can see handle form uses what? Set account and account. So it needs basically the state of the account. So go back again and cut this account, not accounts, account. Okay, so this is working with a single account. Now again, go back and paste the state. So what do we have? We pasted the state, we brought the handle change, and now the only thing left is the handle add account method. So far everything works fine. If you open your code, it will work fine, but we don't have this method. Now we need to think, how can a child communicate to its parent? So let's learn from the previous thing we did on delete account. Remember, we used on delete account and then we passed the handle delete. So the same thing, this handle add, we will say on add account or on submit, and then we will do handle delete account. Okay, so let's do that. We will first of all import, let's import our account form from /account form. Next we will bring this account form here and say account form, and this account form of course needs the handle add account, this method. So the way we will pass it is like we will say on submit. So when the form is submitted, if someone submits this form, they will call this method. Okay, so when someone calls the method called on submit, or let's call it on add account, it doesn't matter what you call it, but as soon as we call it on submit, because if we're going to use this form, the same form for the adding and editing, instead of calling it on add and on edit, we can use the same method on submit and call different things. So I'll say now on submit, if the form is submitted and you are in this form, who do we call? Handle add account. Okay, now when we call handle add account, the add account is trying to do this. So it's trying to find an account. So, and who knows account? It's the account form. So the account is now in the accounts form. Okay, so we need to find a way to pass the account to the parent. So the parent is giving us a method called on submit. Okay, this is the method it's given us. So we will say, or let me call it on add account, because you'll be a little bit confused. So let me call it on add account. So when they add an account, we call the handle add account, and then in the account form we can now listen to that method and say, hey, call on add account, and pass to it the e, and also pass to it the account. So we are passing on add account the en. So how do you get the on add account? Right there, on add account. So that's it. Now I'm gonna get from the parent the on add account, and as soon as the form is submitted, I will call the parent to submit my form. And who is the parent? Accounts. Accounts is the parent, and now this method handle add account will receive e and an account. So everything now should work fine. Okay, so handle add account receives the e and an account. It takes all the previous accounts, extracts them. It then, because this new account will not have an ID associated to it, it uses the UUID to create an ID for it, and then it will push the new account to the to this one, the extracted one, and then it will push all of them and modify the accounts. All right. And for the account form to work, it needs an access to this method, the add account. So when the form is submitted, it calls back this account. So it calls back this event handler. Now if you go to our add form, everything works fine. So handle change is here, and on add account we pass the e and the account. Okay, let's go to this guy and now code console, and if I do saving and I put some numbers and submit, it still works. And we extracted the whole code of the form to its own component, which makes our code a lot more cleaner now. So accounts only has two things. One is on add account and the other one is accounts table. And now in the next one we will see how we can do routing.